This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, we now bring you a discussion on BRICS and G20 Foreign Ministers meeting. The participants are Ashok Sajjanhar, former diplomat, and Simran Sodhi, journalist.
The Defence Minister Rajnath Singh in Moscow, which was a very important visit. And we also had a very significant and important address by the Prime Minister yesterday at the US-India Summit. Ambassador Sajjanhar, when you see all these events that have happened recently and they emphasize India's relations with various global powers, how do you see all this which is happening in the arena of foreign policy?
You know, you're very right, Simran, when you say that these events, all of them taking place back to back, really, they demonstrate and underline the important relationships that India has. But I think it also, in a manner of speaking, it also demonstrates the rising clout and profile and image of India. Because you see that this 3-day US-India summit taking place, all the major political and business leaders of the two countries addressing these, and even the defense personnel also addressing this, and speaking about the future of the India-US partnership and the role that it has to play as the world undergoes so many changes. I think that in itself is very significant. And then you mentioned about the visit of Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh to Moscow. We are all aware that this is the second visit of the Raksha Mantri that is taking place over the last 2 months. It really emphasizes and underscores the importance that India attaches to our partnership with Russia. Russia, of course, is long-standing historical partner as far as India is concerned. We have a number of areas where we cooperate and collaborate. Most important, of course, not the exclusive, but most important of them is defense. We still, although we have diversified our sources of supply from where we import defense equipment, but Russia still continues to be on the top with about 60% of all defense and armament supplies to India. And not only that, it is not only supplies, it is not only a buyer-seller relationship, it is Russia is helping in India to engage in the Make in India program. So when the Raksha Mantri in his meeting with his Russian counterpart, there have been very important discussions that have taken place. There have been important decisions that have been taken, whether it is with respect to the modern AK-403 assault rifles that are going to be supplied, about 670,000 of them. Then the supply of the S-400 missile defense system to India. And Raksha Mantri had gone there last time. He had made a request that, if possible, it could be expedited, it could be speeded up. So we are getting word that we should be able to receive it by the end of next year. And the assault rifles that I mentioned, only small number is going to be supplied in fully operational condition, or the rest of it will be made here, will be manufactured here, or they will be assembled here. So I think that is also a very significant relationship. The two meetings that with the External Affairs Minister, the G20 meeting yesterday that took place, and today the BRICS meeting between the foreign ministers of the 5 BRICS countries. These are also extremely significant, extremely important. And G20, the foreign ministers meeting that has taken place, that of course had a very important agenda basically to deal with the impact, the after effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has been with us, the world in fact, for the last more than 6 months. And this was following on the first meeting, the G20 summit, in fact, that took place on the 26th of March that had been arranged by the Saudis, who are the leaders of the who are the chair of this summit for the current year. So it had been organized at the suggestion of Prime Minister Modi at that time, because he had mentioned that if we want to defeat the coronavirus, we have to cooperate, collaborate, and do it together. So all in all, very important meetings, very significant meetings. And of course, as has been said, all major issues in the world, India will have to get involved if they have to become successful.
Ambassador Sajjanhar, you spoke at length about India's relationship with Moscow and how this is one of our oldest and most important relationships. We also have news reports coming out of Moscow that during this visit of the defense minister, Russia has pledged to India that it will not supply arms to Pakistan. How significant do you think is this statement, and also how much is this a diplomatic significant victory for India in the sense that we are now out there combating cross-border terrorism, but we are also making the world community aware that when weapons are supplied to a nation state like Pakistan, they get used for all the wrong purposes?
Absolutely. I think you put it very rightly, Simran, when you say that all weapons and armaments that go to Pakistan, they will be used against us. You would recall that when this decision was taken about 6-7 years ago, this is exactly what we had mentioned to Russia, that any weapons that are coming to Pakistan, they are going to be used against India. At that time, Russia had mentioned, no, the equipment that we are supplying to them are for anti-terrorist operations. And if Pakistan is able to deal with the terrorists in its own territory, then it would be beneficial for India also. I don't really buy that argument because the terrorists that act against India from Pakistani soil are actually given safe havens, they are given training, they are given funding, they are given support by Pakistan. So even if Pakistan were to take action against terrorists on its own territory, they would definitely not be the terrorists which are acting against India. They would be terrorists which are acting against the Pakistan regime and the Pakistan establishment. But be that as it may, I think in absolute terms, I think it did not have the capability, the capacity to create, to cause us sleepless nights. Because, there were a few helicopters that were being supplied to them and things like that. And as compared to that, India imports much larger numbers and quantities from Russia. So it was in absolute terms, in substantive terms, it was not anything significant. But I think symbolically, it was sending out very different message. Because Russia and before that even Soviet Union, in deference to our sensitivities and our wishes, they had not been supplying any defense equipment to Pakistan. So here there was a change that took place about 5-6 years ago. And you would recall that there was also the instance of the war exercises that was taking place just after the Uri attack on India that had taken place. So it was considered to having been some sort of insensitive from our point of view that this exercises would take place immediately after Uri. But we have got over that because I don't think it makes any substantive difference. But coming as it is now that Russia has said they will not be supplying to arms to Pakistan, I wholeheartedly welcome it. I think it's a good move because I think it also sends out a very strong message to Pakistan, to the world, and to the friends of Pakistan like China, that Pakistan is engaged in fomenting terrorism in the region, that Russia is definitely standing with India as far as this relationship is concerned.
Ambassador Sajjanhar, you just mentioned Pakistan's friend China, and I would like to discuss a little about the BRICS meeting. And the Chinese Foreign Ministry confirmed that their foreign minister will attend the BRICS Foreign Affairs meet. The point is that this meeting, the online meeting of the 5 foreign ministers, will then take place in the backdrop of unsuccessful attempts by China to change the status quo in the eastern Ladakh region. And we've seen these aggressive behavior by China, which continues across our borders. How do you see India then responding to China in the BRICS summit? How can India, China work together in the BRICS summit?
So the trust level between the two countries has dipped to an all-time low because what we have found is that China says something and it does something entirely different. Also, what it tries to engage its partners in dialogue and conversation, and while the conversation is going on, it tries to change facts on the ground. It tries to create new facts on the ground. So I think this has led to huge distrust, particularly what happened on the 15th of June, night of 15th and 16th June in Galwan Valley. So I think it will take a lot of doing to bridge that trust gap, trust deficit. It will take a long time. So I think that it cannot be business as usual. China, Beijing has suggested that we could keep, like in the past, the border issue to one side and continue to promote our relations in other areas, economy, culture, people to people, etc. But from our point of view, that is just not acceptable, and that message has been given. So I agree with you that when the ministers meet in the BRICS setting, then it will not be an ideal or an optimum setting to strengthen a partnership and strengthen relations. But of course, we know that, it will be formal official meeting where ministers will make their statements. But I think BRICS has had some positive results so far. We have seen that new development bank, or what is known as the BRICS Development Bank, that has been established, that has been doing some good work in terms of supporting creation of infrastructure in different countries. There is a currency swap system that has also been put in place. And I think if there are going to be some discussions as to how the poor and indebted countries could be funded at this time, because all countries are running into huge debts because their economies are not performing well at all. So in that context, I think on technical grounds, where there is not much of confidence or trust required, some of those issues could be discussed and could be taken forward. But I would add that the more important meeting, as I can see, would be when the two ministers meet in Moscow on the 10th of September for the SCO Foreign Ministers meeting. And there would be good opportunity when the two ministers could, on the sidelines, have a conversation. I think, as Dr. Jaishankar said last evening, that he knows Wang Yi well. He has met him several times, so there would not be a problem in having a chat with him, so to say. And I think this will take forward any discussions that our Raksha Mantri would have with his Chinese counterpart today in Moscow, because there has been a request for a meeting from the Chinese side. And when Raksha Mantri had gone from here, it was mentioned that there was no intention of having a meeting with him, meaning we would not ask for a meeting. But this is the third request that has come from the Chinese side. So this meeting will take place. I think it's a significant meeting, and we'll have to wait for the outcome.
Ambassador Sajanhar, we saw the Prime Minister yesterday and he gave a speech. This was the keynote address at the third Leadership Summit of the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum via video conference, and the PM spoke at length and he made a point that 1.3 billion Indians have embarked on one mission, which is to create an Atmanirbhar Bharat, which seeks to merge the local with the global and ensure the country's strength acts as a global force multiplier. Ambassador Sajanhar, when we also look at the broader context of the India-US relation, given the PM's outreach, the PM's speech, this has been one of the defining foreign policy relationships that India has built over the last few years. How significant is this relation then today in India's standing globally, and especially in the context of the PM's outreach?
This is the most significant relationship as far as India is concerned. I remember when it was in 2005, when we signed the US-India nuclear deal. At that time, it was mentioned that the United States views a strong, powerful and prosperous India in its own interest. And what India had mentioned at that time was that we see a proactive and confident, reliable United States in our interest. So I think today we can underscore that same sentiment, and because both the countries really need each other, it's a win-win partnership. It's a global strategic partnership, but in terms of interest, whether it is we are seeing a very aggressive and a belligerent China, not only on our borders, but also as far as South China Sea is concerned. South China Sea is important for us because about 35 to 40% of our global trade also traverses through South China Sea. So peace, free, open, prosperous Indo-Pacific is also in our interest. So I think whether it is security or it is economy, after all, the United States is our biggest trading partner in goods and services. So across the board, it is a very important relationship. It's a very significant relationship. So I think this will continue to go forward. It will continue to grow. And this is going to be beneficial, not only for our own two countries, but for the region as well as the world in terms of promoting peace, in terms of promoting security, stability and prosperity.
And in the coming days, we will continue our discussion on India's relationship with Russia, China, US, and globally India's foreign policy outreach. Thank you.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on BRICS and G20 Foreign Ministers meeting. The participants were Ashok Sajjanhar, former diplomat, and Simran Sodhi, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our website, newsonair.com. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.